Yeah.
You know what else is crazy is that, so I want to hear what you have to say, but I want to say something first. When
he's done, he wants to hear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's going to be too late. I already don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, okay, right. Mission accomplished. So oh fuck, what was I going to say? Oh. Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly chronicle concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a simple fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim, 4 of the 10 owners in the league. Download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podcoin, or wherever you get your strike-rolling podcast content. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is episode 73, entitled Cheap and Legitimate. Well, good morning, Balked Nation. We're so happy to have you here, and guess what? We have the whole crew here. GK, welcome back. And I figure you're probably going to lead off with an apology to Balked Nation. Is that true?
No. Why would I apologize? At least I tried. I did take my microphone with me. Unlike our host who just, says, I'm going to take a couple weeks off and doesn't even try to get on there. I mean, Balked Nation understands and knows how hard I work to make the other guys on this podcast sound funny and engaging.
Right.
And so I'm sure they probably felt bad for the unwarranted attacks that I received from you guys. We're probably like, leave GK alone. He's enjoying his time in Vegas. The guy sure as hell's earned it. So, no, I don't think I owe anybody any apology.
I did feel a little guilty after I found out it was on your birthday week that you were in Vegas. So, happy birthday. I do want to say that. But still, you should have shown up.
I tried. What was the nail in the coffin was that I didn't realize till I got there that Vegas is on Pacific time. I don't know if they're like Arizona and they switch. At some point on the Saturday before we broadcast normally, I realized that we were on Pacific time, and I was like, man, 7:05 in the morning.
Gosh, if only there was somebody on the podcast that does that on a regular basis that could tell us how that feels.
Oh, Tim does that on a regular basis? Tim stays up all night drinking and gambling on a regular basis, then gets out at 7:05 and then has to get on a plane for 8 hours?
Okay.
He does that on a regular basis? If I could have just gotten up and talked to you guys for 2 hours and then rolled back over and slept, then I would have definitely been on. But I had to pack, I had to go to the fucking airport, and I had to sit on a plane hungover for 8 hours, so I wasn't looking to be, any more nauseous or hungover than I already was. Sorry.
2 things. Number 1, in his defense, compared to the majority of his relationships, he gave us quite a bit of notice, like 2.5 hours. So that's a lot
true.
For him. Usually they don't find out until afterwards. Secondly, the question becomes, is it better to know that you're not going to be there and prepare in advance, as Tim did, and take a vacation, or lead someone on, give the assumption to the people that count on you, or and then at the last minute simply disappear?
Well,
the thing is, it's not like this is a complicated setup. You just turn your laptop sideways, plug in the microphone, and you could have done it laying down.
See, Joe has no sympathy.
Well,
Joe has done this podcast in Vegas form before, so he actually...
That's a good point.
He came on very drunk and still performed.
And proceeded to get drunker.
Yes.
Well, I also had my brother in the same room as me, and I didn't want to wake him up either.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Bad planning on your part, but we understand.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Welcome back. And
thank you.
We all know if you're a fan of GK, you didn't expect an apology anyway. You almost expected to apologize to GK for having expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Yeah. Exactly. So exactly.
Everyone was speculating on some things about, especially about my text message last week.
Yeah.
And Jack, I wrote everybody in a group text that we do, listeners, and Jack did hit the nail on the head when he said that, I wouldn't be surprised if Greg left it intentionally full of bad grammar to heighten the effect of what condition he was in.
Yeah, right. Of course, yes.
I was like, oh, do I want to correct that? I was like, oh, fuck it. They'll think I'm all the more whacked out, and that maybe that'll engender the slightest bit of sympathy, but it didn't.
So it's both.
It didn't.
Yeah, you were shit-faced enough to type it, but then realized that it could work to your benefit and just allowed it to go on.
Right. And that was a great analogy, like the calling into work and like, hey man, excuse me, hold on a second. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm just not going to make it in today.
Been there.
Well, we're glad to have you back, GK. And again, happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
So J-Lo, who suddenly turned dark on GK, how are you doing today?
I'm just peachy.
Well, you've got a little bit of the goth look this week. It's very monochromatic.
It's my, rolling with my homies t-shirt.
Oh, I didn't see that part. That was behind the microphone.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, who's Pat Mahomes?
Oh, he's a quarterback in the NFL.
He's the guy.
The greatest team of all time. Future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes, in case you're
a little early.
He's the leader of the team that's going to break Joe's heart yet again.
That's right.
But they're going to be fun to watch.
Swag. All right. So how are you doing with all this extra time on your hands? You're looking very focused on stretching a lot this morning. Is there anything to that?
I tried to keep up with two 8-year-olds on some very North Florida redneck inflatables on a lake yesterday. So I'm a little sore, a little sunburned.
There's so much to that story.
Yeah.
That we're just going to let sit there and let listeners about it.
Yeah, by all means, email if you have questions. I'll elaborate. Right. They were also professional football players. It was quite a day.
Take some Advil and get ready.
That's it. I'm here.
Play through pain.
Okay, well, hey, we are in week 2 of the what league are we in? Oh, the Juices League. We are.
Hey.
Hello.
Knock, knock.
We are in week 2 as Greg looks outside the window thinking, why the fuck didn't I skip this week?
Right. I know you guys aren't in the playoffs, but Jesus Christ, one of us stops showing up, the other one can't remember the name of the fucking league.
All right, well, we'll pay attention right now. Okay, let's check it out. So we're in week 2 of the playoffs, and we have the Philadelphia Experiment against the Crispy Chickens. And as it stands right now on Sunday morning, the Crispy Chickens have a pretty big lead. We're still probably right at that point where it could maybe flip. And Philadelphia Experiment may be able to pull it off, but it's looking unlikely.
No, the Chickens got it, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack.
No. In these situations and the weekend, staff has a lot to do with it. That's where you're going to be able to get the biggest point swing, and mine's already at 11 and change, so it's not going up much. So yeah, this one you can just about call it.
Wait. You have hotter than lava Bryce Harper, right?
He's got a little.
No, wait.
Red curse next to his name.
Yeah, he got replaced. Yeah. Oh, geez, that's unbelievable. Like one of a great player like Harper not being in your lineup because he's got a boo boo. That's
he's having a child.
You mean his wife is?
He doesn't have a boo boo.
That's why he has a Red Cross.
Yeah, he's having a kid. That's all.
So this guy takes a $300 million check and he doesn't even figure out how to set up when to have a baby in the off season. Mm-hmm. Isn't that part of his job as a professional?
It was against the Marlins. I mean, if you were going to pick a series, the Marlins was the one to take a couple games off. We're okay.
Could have done it in October. It's not like he's going to be playing meaningful games.
Unfucking believable, you guys. Stop it.
Finally.
In all seriousness, games are only 3 or 4 hours. He's a multi-millionaire. You think he could have had like a private nurse set up in like the clubhouse and had his child delivered in the clubhouse.
Why the fuck does he even need to be there? It's not like he's going to do anything.
What the fuck? It's his first child.
Or he lives with a woman or loves her, yeah.
There's no way in hell I was going to be in the room when my kids were born. That's disgusting.
I was in the
see
room.
that shit.
I wish I hadn't been, but I was.
Hell, I wasn't even in the same state when my first child was born.
You're running that fast?
I had to work. Somebody had to pay for this shit. I was working.
I'd made it halfway across the goddamn country.
When Joe said that, for some reason, the Grateful Dead's "Friend of the Devil"
Right.
just ran through my mind. First one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me.
Joe went to get cigarettes. And
Oh man. Well, I did have a chance to hang out with Scotty and his family on Friday night. Purposely did not ask him about the game or anything that was going on, but he had his phone out on the table the whole time, refreshing. So he's really into it. And then as we were saying our goodbyes or goodnights, Scotty's youngest son looks up to him and says, "Hey Dad, how much do you win if you win at fantasy baseball?" And so I threw out a number out there, and his son like double looked at him like, "Oh, already spending Scotty's money." And
That's
Scotty
funny.
said, Scotty looked at him and said, "It's not going to happen this year." Even though he's ahead by this many points, he is still not confident. He still does not think he can take it this year. But
Well, there's 4 great teams in there. But here's a question for you, Tim. So you said you deliberately didn't ask him about the game? I mean, you do realize you host a podcast about this shit. Why the fuck wouldn't you ask him about his thoughts? I mean, it's kind of what we do here,
Well, at least when we're not in Vegas.
yeah, we show up each Sunday morning. That's what we do. That's kind of what we do here.
Mike Wallace had lunch with the Ayatollah last week, but he intentionally avoided the subject of the hostages. He didn't want to upset him, and the eggs Benedict were a delight.
So I love it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what else was I gonna? I mean, he was just.
Are you
deep into it.
nervous? What do you think? How are your chances? Blah blah.
I think
blah.
I conveyed that to the nation just a second ago. I just went about it a little differently than maybe just
Ooh.
walking right up and saying, "Hello, are you scared of Jack's team?"
Jesus Christ! I'm glad you weren't on the Watergate story back in the day. God. Yeah, a guy named Deep Throat called me, but it was the penultimate game of the Teen Jeopardy tournament at the same time, and I didn't want to miss that. So
I hung up on him.
Oh boy. So Jack, what do you think going into next week? Have you been looking ahead to next week?
Next week I get the 1.5. My schedule looks a little bit better than this week, so I'm still fairly confident. Obviously, you don't like it coming down to one game because anything can happen, but I still expect to win next week, and it looks like face the Dreamers, right?
Looks like.
Well, yeah, we can go over there, and yeah, it absolutely looks like that. And yeah, Mikey's team it just seems like his season is done. So I'm already out. My prediction 2 weeks in, out, done, wrong.
But it's still in the realm of possibility that he...
For Mikey, you could gain 2 or 3 points for sure with the staff, so it'd still be a hell of a climb. I think you can call this one too.
Okay, well, so yeah, this is what it looks like right now. Crispy Chicken's pushing it to 3 weeks. So a game 3. The Dreamers will actually take a week off. And I just got to say, I always hated taking a week off in the playoffs.
Yes,
I always felt like I had one of my best weeks of the playoffs when I wasn't playing anybody. The other thing is the Dreamers came in scorching hot. So another week, another opportunity for some of those players to cool down could actually play in whoever comes out of the experiment and the Chickens game.
I'm just amazed at how negatively you guys look at these things.
Oh, really, Joe?
Yeah.
Is that really how? Is that something you've been wondering about? Okay.
Yeah. Enlighten us, oh shining star.
You say every home run that's hit is one fewer home run that the guy's going to hit. Couldn't you equally say every time he strikes out, that's one less strikeout he's going to have while you're playing your game?
I suppose we could, but we've been listening to you, J-Lo, for 3 years. That has an effect. The conditions our thinking.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
My plan is working.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and take a break. GK definitely needs some more cappuccino for sure. Wake up, GK. You're not in Vegas.
I'm fine.
Still recovering from Vegas.
This is what happens to you guys that were exposed to the trauma of the birthing room. Just makes you crazy.
Well, they have that big mirror.
Why do they have a mirror?
I was just, locked in on my wife's face at, just encouraging. But then for some reason I looked to the left and I caught a glimpse of what was happening in that mirror. And oh God, I wish I had that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
It's
boy.
horrible.
Yeah, J-Lo, we weren't running across state lines when our kid was being born, right? We were there. We were.
I'm quite content and comfortable with the way I did things.
I applaud you.
Greg said, "I applaud you." Greg's like, that's a new level of ghosting. Actually, it's
Yeah.
you ghost them before they even come out into the world. You just gone.
Okay, so let's cut the cord on this one and head over into the next segment. We're gonna get some insight into what GK actually was doing in the tunnels underneath Vegas. We're gonna maybe take a look at. I had a funny moment at the bowling alley the other night. Well, it wasn't. It was kind of hurtful, but maybe you guys will think it's funny.
I'm sure if it was hurtful, I'm sure I will think it's.
Somebody got hurt. It's got to be funny.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll find it funny if it was hurtful. You were hurt, Tim?
I was personally.
No, well, that's not funny.
No, it's going to be really
very
funny.
good.
So our listenership in this second segment will be up higher than it's ever been because we're going to come back and talk about Tim's psychological pain.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so we'll see y'all in a minute.
Yeah.
Welcome back, bots. We're so happy to have you back. And GK, I think everybody is really wondering what happened in Vegas. And I know most of it you probably can't share, but there maybe is a funny anecdote here or there that you could share with Bacher Nation about the time you had in Vegas over your birthday weekend.
I could share all of it, but that would be boring.
Oh, come on. All right. Yeah. All right. Already.
Here's what I've concluded is that I'm aging. I was there for my birthday weekend with my brother and 3 other friends from college.
Right.
And we've had several trips like this. And our general pattern has been on Friday night, we get annihilated. And then we're really hurting Saturday.
I'm with you.
Right. Okay.
But you know what? We didn't. We drank. So Friday afternoon, I got there, went to the pool, had some drinks, had dinner, then we went to a Fitz and the Tantrums and Young the Giant concert.
Oh, Fitz and the Tantrums. That must have been fun.
It was. And my one of my friends works for Netflix. He's an executive for Netflix, and so he got us VIP pool area passes.
Nice.
So we were watching the concert from a swimming pool, which was fun.
There you go.
But honestly, we weren't drinking fast enough to get really hurt, and I think that's attributable to my advancing age.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Saturday we woke up and one of my friends and I were like, what would be fun is to get a massage. In my entire life, I've only ever had one massage. I've just not been a massage guy. The one that I had, the concept of it sounds fine. I just don't see the value there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I if they were handing them out free or when somebody I was in a relationship with gave me a massage, it's great, but to go there and to pay and to have a stranger massaging me was just not something that I've put a lot of value on.
Was there a happy ending involved?
No. Well, Joe, do you want me to go right to the story?
Exactly.
Or do you want me to build a little dramatic tension? Come on. So
tension and release. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Said Joe's wife.
Joe, do you want me to cut straight to the climax of the story?
That's always the best.
Good thing we've got the explicit tag on this fucking show, right? Okay.
So we were staying at the Venetian. It's a nice hotel. And the massages there were like, for 50 minutes, it was $200. And then you got a tip. And that just seemed too high.
$200 for just the tip?
Yeah, no. $200. Oh, God.
I'm thinking that Joe may be in a different area of Vegas than Greg was.
He is off the strip.
Joe
maybe J-Lo's in the tunnels.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, J-Lo may be like 2 or 3 blocks off the strip here at this point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yes, so that's okay. So we weren't going to do that. So my friends started researching massage places, and the first one we called, they didn't have any appointments, and he came across another one. It was a Thai massage or something like that.
Of course it was.
And so
nothing fishy about that. Huh?
I just want to throw out there that Greg's going to end up at the. We have plenty of appointments. Like nobody comes here. You want to come on down, please.
and I want to be explicitly clear here that my friend and I were looking for just massages, like real massages here.
Right.
Okay.
And so,
Joe.
he was like, Yelp, there's lots of good ratings. It must be legit because on Yelp, there's a lot of positive ratings. I was like, well, that's not necessarily makes it legit. Maybe the Yelpers are, getting what they want in another way. But so we call there, and again, we're overly communicative that we're looking for an actual massage, and,
how does that go? How do you
like seriously? Unfucking believable. This guy. Wait. Hold on. But folks, if you've been listening in order, you would have heard last show that we replaced a segment with one of Greg's old stories about leaving a freak in a strip club so that he could rest up for his big trip to IKEA the next day. Now,
I still have those chairs,
and I believe last week one of the guesses as to where Greg may have been was a potential IKEA in the area. As my friend, I kind of wish now that he had been at an IKEA as opposed to he's in Vegas trying to find a legitimate massage. How many people laughed at you when you called? They're like, no. Do you know where you are, sir? Like, this is fucking Vegas.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like the hotel, I'm sure had legitimate massages, but they were just too pricey. You guys,
so
listeners,
a cheap, legitimate.
Yeah. Well, no,
in Vegas.
No, a reasonably priced legitimate.
Reasonably priced.
And hey, while you're making those calls, see if you could find me a cheap, legitimate heart surgeon here in Vegas as well.
He was looking for the IKEA chair of massages.
Well, from what I understand from friends who get real, legitimate massages, like $100 an hour is kind of the going rate.
I'd like to thank Robert Kraft for having to say real, legitimate massage.
Yeah. So the phone conversations were like, "Hi, my friend and I we were hoping to get some massages today. Do you have any open appointments?" And we were like, we would like what are they called? Deep tissue massages, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
So this Thai place said, "Yeah, we have appointments." As I'm making the appointment, my friend's like, "Oh, but make sure we only want female masseuses." And so, I cover the phone, and I was like, "Why? Why do we care if we?" He's like, "Do you want some guy giving you a massage?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess that's true. Yes, we want legitimate massages, but only females." And the woman at the front desk of this place was like, "We only have females here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good." So we make our appointment. We get into a cab, and the guy was like, "Where are you going?" And I give him the physical address, and he was like, "Okay, well, what is that place?" And I said, "It's
a legitimate massage parlor, sir."
Yeah, it's a legitimate.
It's called Thai Massage.
Thai legitimate massage.
And my friend was like, "It's a legitimate massage place." This cab driver's probably seen everything working in Vegas, and he couldn't care less. My friend was like, "It's a legitimate massage place. We called, we checked it out, we even looked it up on Yelp." And I look at him, I'm like, this guy doesn't need this whole story, And he was like, "Yeah, we just flew in, and it was a long flight." And I was like, "Okay,
for the next two guys that are together looking for a legitimate massage parlor, you can tell them where to go now, Mr. Taxi Guy."
And so he takes us there. So we get there. It's in a strip mall.
Oh my god.
It's right next to a place called the Jerusalem Grill. I guess it's an Israeli cafe of some sort. And so we go in.
Was it a legitimate cafe?
I don't know.
Does that somehow support the story, or is that just a kind of a random fact?
I'm just setting the scene.
Yeah. But so many cringeworthy jokes there. But move on, please.
Okay, yeah.
So, dimly lit room.
Okay, yeah.
She says, take your clothes off and get under the sheet. And she leaves the room. And so this is my first point of departure from my one limited massage experience, because the only other massage I got was with my second wife, and it was a couples massage. And so we were in the same room on little tables next to each other. I guess my ex did take her clothes off. I think I left my boxer shorts on. So immediately I was like, what's going on? I became suspicious immediately. So in that moment, I decided, I decided that I would keep my boxer shorts on. So I got under the sheet, and then she comes.
Wait. So I just want to make sure. So in the couples massage, you were in the same room.
We were in the same room. We were in our hotel room for the couples massage.
Right. So in this one, are you and your buddy in separate rooms?
Okay, different rooms. Yeah. Oh, I was laying on my back, and the woman comes in, and she was like, "Oh no, turn over." And so I turn over. I put my face in the hole. Looking down on the ground. It all seems pretty normal at first. But again, I've never had a deep tissue massage is what I've learned. Because after, I don't know, some length of time, maybe 20 minutes, like she crawls up on the table, like all, off the floor on the table with me. Kind of like sitting, like straddling.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
I'm thinking to myself, is this normal? Is this what's supposed to happen?
Is this legitimate?
Yeah,
That's what the guy says in the video.
And so before I know it, she's standing on me.
Yep.
Is that normal for a deep tissue massage? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
So she's standing on me. So now all thoughts of like a sexual kind of undertone or situation evaporate, and I'm starting to think, God, I hope her socks are clean. Because I could feel her socks like on the back of my head. You know what I mean? And it kind of hurts. Like she's walking on my calves. I mean, she's not a big woman, but still, she's walking all over me. And so I was like, well, this is strange. But at the same time, I could kind of see the therapeutic value of it because it was like pain, but I could feel like my muscles really being worked. So I thought, okay, maybe this is what a deep tissue massage is. And so after, 30 minutes of that, she climbs down. She gets back on the ground, and then she starts with her hands rubbing oil all over me.
Yeah.
And she's under the sheet, approaching different areas. But I am feeling relaxed, by the way. I am feeling deeply relaxed.
Certainly.
And I start thinking to myself,
why'd I leave my boxers on?
No, I didn't think that. I thought, boy, this is relaxing. I can see the appeal of this. And I'm no longer tense.
These legitimate massages are pretty good.
This is legit. And so, but then she starts working her way up towards, my boxer covered areas, I shall say. And so I started thinking to myself, wait a second. Yeah, I started thinking, wait, is there still something that untoward that's about to happen? Because she starts pushing my boxers up and maneuvering my boxers a little bit. And then she tells me to roll over onto my back.
Yeah.
And she gets me a pillow. And so then again, see, this is one of my tragic flaws, listeners. I overthink things.
No shit.
Really?
I could just be enjoying this massage, but I'm trying to anticipate her next move.
It sounds like the opposite of relaxed.
It is, yeah. I'm hyper vigilant during massage. You know what I mean? And so then she's rubbing oil all over me, and then getting a hot towel and wiping it off, all that stuff. I guess it's just what a normal massage is. But then she starts working up towards my junk, and so I started
massaged areas.
Yeah, and so I started thinking to myself, oh God, is this should I be anticipating some sort of a happy ending here?
Call it a happy ending. Yeah.
I mean,
let's see the place
after all this work to avoid it, right?
Well, it is called a happy ending, not a happy beginning or a happy middle.
Right. Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, have I, fallen into a comfort zone where now, it's just assumed that she's going to grab my junk and finish me off here? And I was praying that wouldn't happen because I don't know quite how I would have communicated not to do that. You know what I mean?
Especially if she had dirty socks.
Oh yeah, and I'm feeling deeply relaxed, and I'm like, oh man, maybe that wouldn't be so bad.
So in her mind, she was going, I hope this guy's not thinking that he wants a happy ending. Like, I wonder if this is what this guy's looking for. I'm feeling really tense.
Probably.
Right. That's the cue when she tells you to flip over. That's the cue, right? Then if you don't flip, then she knows. But if you flip, then she's like, oh.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of thought that, Jack. Is that the cue? Like flip over. But you know what the conclusion was, guys? There was no happy ending. It was just a legitimate 90-minute deep tissue massage, and it was deeply relaxing. Then the little irony of the after story was that then my friend and I went outside and we had to call an Uber to get back to the hotel. And so we're standing in front of this spa massage place, and our Uber driver rolls up, and she's got like 50 rosaries hanging from her rear view mirror. She's got like 30 Jesus fish stuck to her car. She's listening to.
Did you guys get the happy ending?
Like a Christian radio station. I swear that every other words of the song that we listened to was Jesus. Every other word. Like and like we're like, hi, and like she looked at us with like contempt, like we'd done something wrong,
So Greg figured out a way to go to Vegas and get a massage without a happy ending somehow, and still had people looking at him with contempt afterwards.
That's true.
Did you tell her that it was legitimate?
No, she didn't even want to talk to us. She knew where we were going because we entered it into our phone, and she didn't say a damn word to us. She just dropped us off.
Well, I can truly empathize with you, GK, in terms of going to Vegas and maybe not partying as much as you have in the past. What I mean is that Tammy and I were hanging out on Saturday night, and it was getting late. We didn't really know what to do. Didn't want to go to a movie, and so she suggested, "Hey, let's go bowling. Let's hit the bowling alley." I'm like, "Okay, great."
Ooh.
We went, and it was fantastic. We were having a great time. Literally, I was bowling the best game of my life.
Did you break 100?
I broke 150. Yeah, so I was like, I was feeling young. My bowling shoes fit well. Like, how often have you gone to a bowling alley and your bowling shoes fit well? Tammy's having a great time. The soundtrack, they must have been the Pandora playlist they were playing was 80s hits, right? So, it went from Asia to Foreigner to Cinderella.
Heat of the moment.
Nice.
Oh, it was just great. I almost felt like, you know what, like that moment where you just feel young again, like you're just feeling vibrant, and maybe those fun times in high school when you were doing the same thing. Like the illusion was there. And it was great too, because we had this group of, these kids were probably in their 20s next to us, and they were playing, and we were high-fiving, and it was all great. And then one of the gals in that group, just all excited, and we had been drinking and everything, and she's like, I hope when I'm old, I have as much fun as you two. And I was like, God dang it. Like, seriously? Yeah. So that was my Saturday night.
Were the pictures of Bud Light flowing?
Pictures of Bud Light were flowing. Nice. So it was kind of sad, but
oh man, that's
what did you say when she said that? Fuck you, bitch.
No, it was just that pause, and then I think in her mind, like she kind of put it together, like a little slowly, but like, oh shit,
Yeah.
And
he grabbed Tammy and held her back. That's what he did.
We just went back to our game.
Was she hot?
What was she wearing?
Oh my god!
When did you come on? Be honest, Tim. Just objectively speaking, when she was releasing her ball, did she get real low, or was she one of those kind of upright bowlers? Like, or was she bent over and like really getting close to the ground?
She was horrible. She was not a good bowler. Yeah,
okay.
She was not a good bowler. Yep.
Just curious.
Okay, well, we're gonna. This segment is definitely getting old. We're gonna break now, refresh our coffees or whatever we're drinking.
Yeah, and I want to talk about a new TV show as well that I told you guys a little bit about. I have a lot to catch up with, from missing last week.
Okay, well, we'll start out with that. Thanks. Hey bots, due to some unforeseen circumstances, we don't have the third segment with the Atlas Bot crew. It's kind of disappointing. There's some funny stuff on there, so hopefully we can get some of that out to you next week. I did go back into the audio vaults, though, and I found some work that GK and Swag were doing, basically looking at the trials and tribulations of two middle-aged guys out in the dating scene now. And this was audio with, of course, Jack, Greg, myself, and a good friend of ours, Angela, who we also call Dr. O. And this was a news segment, part of that project. There was actually dating news segment on there that is pretty humorous. So in lieu of being able to give you the Atlas Bach third segment, we're giving you this dating news update from a project that those two were working on. So hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's all intended in good humor. And we'll see you back with probably a full 3 segments next week.
I don't think twice for the price of a cheap time home. Come back anytime. I've already had your time. It's your payback. Money drive.
So listeners, we're going to take a look at the news of the week. Hot news right now in dating.
A Dine and Dash dater is facing years in prison for allegedly forcing a string of first dates to pay for their expensive meals by sneaking out of upscale restaurants after he had finished eating. So this dude was literally ghosting them during the first meal. 10 counts of extortion, fraud, and petty theft against at least 10 women over the past 2 years. This guy's been going for 2
Is it 10 free meals in 2 years? He's not exactly Capone. For
tell him 10 counts. Think of all the ones that haven't stood up to say me too.
Yeah. Oh.
The 45-year-old would reportedly chat to women online, offering to take them to restaurants across the city and then vanish without a word after consuming large amounts of food and alcohol.
Large amounts. You know, I'm going to have 2 entrees tonight.
Copious lobster. All the lobster.
Hey, can you bring one wrapped to go?
This one chick said she was supposed to meet him at Chipotle, and he talked
expensive meals.
Instead, he talked her into an upscale eatery called Houston's. She says.
Is this Florida? There is a Houston's right around the corner from me.
This is California.
It's a chain.
It's good.
Yeah, no, this is out west.
Greg, you seemed a little nervous there for a second.
Yeah, right. Was that? Wait, is this me? Is that me? Hold on a second. Did he order the prime rib?
Surf and turf, baby, all the way.
Wow.
So of the 10 women that have stood up, this one deserves it. Her comment was, "I didn't want to go. He didn't look like his pictures. I wasn't attracted to him."
But I was hoping to get a free meal.
Yeah, right,
to get a free meal.
She wanted the free meal, exactly. She got it spun around on her.
I think this guy is completely misunderstood. He sounds like he's a women's rights advocate. You know?
Yeah, he got with in her particular situation. He got a phone call after they had ate steak, wine, salad. Got a lobster,
salad too.
Told her to order whatever she wanted, of course, and then got a phone call and never came back. Left her with a $120 bill.
Is this really a crime? I mean, it is like the default assumption that the man's going to pay. Dr. O, weigh in here, please.
Oh, it's a crime. Switch the places. If a lady invited you out and then ditched you every time for like hundreds of dollars, see, I would have run.
No,
I would have run.
Ladies have invited me out, and I end up paying the bill, and I wish they would ditch me, you know, but they don't. They stick around, unfortunately.
Technically, extortion, fraud, and petty theft are the the 3 charges.
Petty being the key word here.
Now, so were the restaurant managers, were they like, I don't give a crap. You're here. You had the food. Someone's got to pay.
Most of them.
Well, they should be.
Yes, most of them were. There are a couple of, I think a couple of the girls were able to cry or get at least get enough compassion that they let them go. But no, most of them actually ended up having to pay. My understanding is, I mean, it's
$100 dinner.
Yeah, $100 plus.
So, but I mean, again, okay, I'm gonna, you know me, all guys, I'm super progressive, but I'm objecting to the fact that these women they're saying that they're not in a position to pay for this meal. Does that suggest that they were assuming that they would be treated by this rogue?
I was thinking the same thing, but now you're it's not only their meal, but it's his too.
Oh,
I think if he had paid for his and then walked out, there's no crime. Obviously, it's the fact that he ate the fucking steak and lobster and then just walked the fuck out of there. My understanding is he could do up to 16 fucking years, dude.
Oh my God.
Someone is genuinely scared on this call.
That means Greg's good for at least 3 to 4 with good behavior.
I never go Dutch. I always would choose to pay.
No.
But my God, I mean, what police force is expending man hours investigating this? I mean, there should be like a Match.com
lady
secret
hours.
police. Yeah, like a secret police for the dating website, maybe. They should be debiting his meals on that from the dating website app.
Everybody gets a prepaid card.
But the police, I demand the city council in these communities weigh in on why they're having the cops investigate this while there's an opioid crisis going on in America.
Yeah, well, it is California. They did mention that I guess it's a stiffer penalty than just like dine and dashing, because he's not just eating the restaurant's food and leave. He's putting it on a third party in addition to. So not only is he stealing, but then he's putting it on someone else to take the fall, I guess. So,
Mr. Jones, I sentence you to take these women to brunch.
Right.
And I'm not talking about one of those cheap brunches. I'm talking about at a fancy hotel with cocktails, 2 mimosas minimum. Adjourn.
And creme fraiche.
He's definitely getting his ass kicked in prison. Like, oh, what did you do? Oh, I murdered somebody.
What are you in for?
Oh, BLT.
No. They're going to be like, what are you in for? And he's going to say, well, you know what? Do me a favor, bro. Get a tray of food, load it up, bring it over to the table, and I'll tell you all about it. Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to go to my court-appointed psychologist right now. I'll have to tell you that later. Thanks for lunch.
Oh, my ass raping is up. I'll be back in a little bit here.
Holy Moses.
Unreal.
Is this a guy that has a clean record, or is this the only thing he ever did, or?
Funny you should ask. It did mention that previously he had been accused of getting his hair dyed and cut in a hair salon and running away without paying. Not only that, but at the time he was still dressed in the salon's robe. So he...
Those things are expensive.
So he got a hair dye, a haircut, and he still had the robe on as he was. This was previously. This was the old gentleman. Now he's moved on, obviously, to fine dining and dumping it on other folks. So this guy's I mean, it's good to know what you want, I guess.
Hope he doesn't test drive any cars.
Baby steps. He's moving his way up the ladder. Let's see what he gets for this one. 16 years is, I could imagine going to jail for that. Like, there's a lot of things I can imagine going to jail for. Some of them even worth it. That is not one of them.
You know, the robe and the beauty salon kind of hits home with me. This is a total non sequitur, I realize, but last weekend I went out like an all-day drinking fest on a Saturday with my college friend who lives down here. And we wound up at the local bowling alley that's right around the corner from his house, where we always end up going because we took bowling together in college. And we always have this ongoing 30-year rivalry.
That's
anyway,
cute.
I was so drunk that Sunday morning I woke up, got out of bed, And I didn't drag a comb across my head. No, I woke up, I got out of bed, and there on the ground were the bowling shoes. I forgot to return my bowling shoes. And for a minute, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to get in trouble.
That's a new twist on the walk of shame right there, isn't
I
it?
had to call the bowling alley. I was like, hi. I was there bowling last night. I think I had one or two too many drinks. And I accidentally walked home with my bowling shoes on. And he was like, do you have black flip-flops? And I was like, yes, that's me. He's like, okay, we have your flip-flops. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll bring them by after work on Monday.
Greg is the dude with his fucking flip-flops to bowling shoes.
In his bathrobe.
Yeah.
Can I get a white Russian, please?
He's like,
I said, you know what? I'm having a lunch date there, but I may be leaving in a hurry. Let me bring those bowling shoes back.
did you abide? He abided.
That's it. That must have been really embarrassing having to show up at your next event in bowling shoes as opposed to your flip-flops, huh?
Touche.
Luckily, I toyed with the idea. I toyed with the idea of just abandoning those flip-flops. But in as much as I go there all the time, that bowling alley, I was like,
that's the guy.
I don't get blacklisted from the bowling alley. Hey, you're that guy who took those size 12s. What gives, pal? Get out of here. You're banned. You're banned.
Size 12, huh?
I don't want to die. That's right.
That's the dude with the stinky flip-flops.
So, oh, God. Sorry. That was a little sidebar.
So can you imagine, as we kind of wrap this story up, what kind of opening lines this dude was using to get these women who weren't even interested in him excited about going out? I mean, was he just, was part of his profile free dinner?
Free dinner.
Or what? right. Didn't say for who, just...
I think he's a social activist.
There had to be some sympathy situation somewhere, right? I mean, at least it sounds like it from her description of the situation. And I don't know. It had to be a hell of a line, obviously. At least the fact. And the other thing is that he didn't really go out of his way to cover his tracks. So it took a while for the first girl to come forward and say something. Cover your tracks? Well, just it's not.
He wore a false mustache. Didn't
all in the same. All in the same area and so on and so forth. I mean, obviously now they've realized that he's done it more than once and that, other people have been involved. But what did it take for that, that first person to go to the police and say, hey, check it out. Here's what happened. And then how did they respond? You probably took 3 or 4 of those before they're like, all right, hold on. This guy's got a fucking routine here.
It's a crime wave. He's a serial dine and dasher. I mean, I've known women over the years who have confided in me that in their younger days, or that sometimes they would go out with guys to dinner just for the meal. When I lived in D.C., there was a friend of mine told me that she'd always wanted to go to Sushi Toro. Very popular and expensive sushi restaurant in D.C., and that some guy who she'd been talking to online invited her to go, and she was like, I knew I wasn't into this guy, and I do feel bad about it, but I was like, well, you know what? For Sushi Toro, I could put up with anybody for a night.
Well, see, if that was the case, then again, not that they deserve it, but it's easier to see it done to them than it would be somebody that wasn't having those thoughts going into it.
Well, I say that these women probably got. They were obviously not into this guy, and they were thinking, you know what, free Chipotle. And then he upped the stakes.
Right, yeah. How about, what if, he knew it, and that was his whole gig? He's like, you know what, I'm just tired of chicks that lie. Just tell me no. If you're going to try to get a free meal out of me, I'm going to get 2 of them out of you.
It's like the scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where Rat takes out his girl and doesn't have his wallet, and they're ordering Diet Coke after Diet Coke. Remember? Damone just happens to show up. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That you remember.
Of course. But how to build a shoe rack baffles me.
Not so much.
Yeah.
I've already got a nickname for the offense.
The child abusers?
The Legion of Zoom.
Oh, I thought it was the child abusers.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
The alleged child abusers. Okay, great. All right. Well, I've been striking out all through this first segment. So let's go ahead and
You didn't say what you thought he was going to name it.
And this, I have no idea. I'm trying to stoke something, and no one, Greg's half asleep. You're talking about, look at the sunshine and rainbows and fucking,
Did I mention the unicorns?
Swag's all butthurt, like, stop picking on Harper. So I don't know. I don't know.
The guy's having a kid. You're beating him down for having a child.
I know. I already feel like shit for that. I should have looked up I should have done my homework. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I'm going to go at him now. And the guy's building a family. That's fucking great. Yeah, so there you go. What
a dick.
Yeah, what a dick. I end up looking like the dick. It bounced off him and hit me. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
I hate getting hit with a dick.
Oh, this is a family show, J-Lo. Family show.
Seriously, there's other podcasts for that.
I know, you just talked about building a family. All right, we're hijacking Greg's story.
Yes.
Sorry,
That's okay. That's all right. So
it's almost like, it's like last week. You weren't here, so
it's your fault. We've gotten used to it. Sorry.
For God's sakes, edit that out. Edit it so that it seems like you know what we're talking about. God damn. Dragged into a tunnel and them do terrible things to me, Joe. Joe, those two I expected things from, but I held you. I had you on a pedestal, Joe. No more.
That was your first mistake.
The fall is going to be rough.
No more.